Happy Saturday, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Let me know when you're jumping on that you can. Please, that'd be really great and awesome. Happy Saturday. Happy Friday evening for those of you in the other parts of the world. Hope you're doing really fantastic and awesome. I just wanted to jump in. I've had some thoughts this morning that have kind of been bubbling away that I thought that I would jump in and talk to you. I can't see who that is. Good morning. Let me know that you can hear me, please, and thank you. That'd be really awesome. So I had this thought. So we've been skating this morning. Went for a walk with my husband, and one of the ladies that we're skating with fell over at the skate park and sort of hurt her wrist. I fell over as we're skating along the riverfront this morning, which was annoying. But I guess, good morning, Anya. Hello, glad you can hear me. So one of the things that I wanted to talk with you guys about this morning, hey Kate, was really more around this, how much pain do you need to be in, or how many times do you need to fall over in order for you to actually get the message, right? How many times do you need to be hurt? How many times do you need to fail? How many times do you need to keep falling down? Hey, Tamara, before you actually make the decision to do something different. So to put this in a little bit of perspective, I've done things in a certain way for a really long time, and they've worked until they didn't. And, there's a whole bunch of learning and pain and, and frustration. And I actually just kind of decided that, enough is enough now. And you can keep putting things off. You can keep putting off the lessons. You can keep ignoring the intuition. You can keep ignoring whatever it is that is coming through, and you're going to keep being freaking knocked down. So how this became apparent this morning. So we're at the skate park and we're playing around, having a bunch of fun, going down ramps. I'm pumping in the half bowl, like not dropping in because that's really freaking scary. Thank you, Tamara. Hey, Jason. All is great here. Thank you. But here's the thing, I'm skating around and I look over, I've come around like down the dip and then through another dip and then came around the bowl and over to my left, one of the girls that we're skating with has fallen over, gone fair whack on her backside, hurt her back, hurt her wrist. And I said, oh, how did that happen? She goes, oh, I just fell backwards. And the interesting thing is that I've been coaching her in roller derby training for the last couple of months, I suppose, and you keep saying to her, bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees. If you're going to fall forward, because we wear our elbow pads, our wrist guards, our knee pads, everything, all of our padding is in front of us. So you can mitigate injury by falling forward. Obviously, we've got our helmets on as well. Whereas if you fall back, what happens when you fall back, right? If you're going to fall over, you generally put your arms back out to save you, and that creates the jarring of your wrist. I broke my wrist snowboarding a few years ago by falling over backwards without wrist guards, and stuff like that. So I guess the lesson here, and when I said to her, I said, oh, what do you think happened? She goes, oh, well, I wasn't bending my knees. And I said, yeah, okay. So had she been bending her knees, she would have actually either not fallen or she would have fallen forward and landed on all of her padding. How this applies into business, how it applies into marketing, and how it applies into life in general, actually, if you keep getting the same result, then you've got to make a change and you've got to do something different. Now, if you're anything like me, I seem to have a ridiculously high tolerance for pain, for punishment, for torture, for anything. And it's not about me trying to prove that I'm right or that my way is the best way, to myself or anything like that. It's just I usually need to be in a really big kind of spot of bother before going, all right, that's enough now. I've really got to do something freaking different. You too, Kate. Yeah, right? It's really kind of interesting. So consequently, what happens in that sense? Well, you become demotivated, you can become depressed, you can become anxious. What I've done some inquiry on this morning has been around the level of anxiety that kicks in and what sparks that level of anxiety. And interestingly, the stuff that sparks the anxiety is always the, well, what if this happens, or what if this doesn't happen, or what if I do this and this is still the same outcome and I get, and blah, blah, blah. Whereas, it doesn't actually need to be that way. So one of the girls that I was with this morning, I'm not very good at skating in a skate park, right? So I haven't, if you imagine like a big U-shaped bowl, anybody that's got kids that takes their kids to the skate park with their scooters or the skateboards or whatever, you'll get what I mean. So there's like a half pipe, and you can either like drop in from the top and, go like that, and then you kind of pump back and forth, and then if you pump far enough, you can kind of like jump up and land up on the ledge, on the other side. And I'm not prepared to do that. Like, I'm still really shit scared, which is really hilarious. But I will get inside the bowl and kind of pump a bit higher and then higher and then higher. And, I'm happy to do that until I get my confidence that I'm, really ready to go, okay, cool, we'll just drop in and it'll be fine. So it's all part of, I guess, letting go of that fear, and part of it is, well, what if I go down there and I fall? Well, you know what, if you fall, you've got your pads on, it's going to be fine. You'll get back up, you might break something, but it heals and you'll be fine. If you go and try something and it fails, then it doesn't make you any less of a person, because you've tried something and you failed. You might not get the result that you want, or, necessarily that you'll expect. But I think a big conversation that we need to be having with ourselves is this perceived failure that keeps, coming up, or the fear of the failure that keeps coming up. When in reality, that the people that get out there and try, they're the people that are making the impact. They're the people who are being visible. They're the people who are helping the people that they want to be able to help. They're the people who are doing things in the world. Think about the presidential candidates in the States. Just had this thought. Think about the presidential candidates in the States and how much and I don't necessarily agree, and I'm not going to talk about the political system in the US, but I think it's a good metaphor for those of us in Australia watching on, and perhaps for those of you in America. It's kind of like they just completely put themselves out there. They know they're going to cop shit. They know they're going to cop hate. They know they're going to cop bad reviews. They know that there's going to be people who love them. They know that they run the risk of turning up to do a rally. We've all seen it in the movies, or, House of Cards, perfect example. If you haven't watched that show yet, you should totally watch it. I love it. They really put themselves out there, and they are just like, what, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, I've got to get out there and campaign, I've got to be visible, I've got to do this stuff. So they might lose the election. They might, all of the drama and stuff that happens with all of that. So, I think when we're children, we just try stuff, we fall over, we dust ourselves back up off, and then we get back up again and we go again. Otherwise, we'd never be where we are now. We'd never be riding bikes. We'd never be driving cars. We would never be doing anything. But, if you have a car accident, you don't go, oh my God, some people do. But, it's not like, oh, I'm never going to get back in a car again and, drive anywhere. It's like you accept responsibility, you make necessary changes, you become more aware or more observant, and you get back in the car and you drive to where it is that you want to freaking go, right? Hey, we wouldn't walk. Exactly. So I think part of what happens in my experience and what I've seen is that we make mountains out of molehills, and the fear of failure becomes so freaking huge when you're putting yourself out there. If you go into a Facebook Live, quite truly, what is the worst that happens? You forget your words. So what? Just say whatever comes to mind and tell people, oh, look, this happened to me yesterday. I totally lost the tangent of what it was that I was talking about, and then it came back in. So, that's okay, it happens. Whether you're experienced in doing this stuff or not. Just be open and honest. And I think this is the point with 2019. If you really want to be visible, if you really want to get out there, if you really want to be seen and be seen as different to the masses of people in your industry that are all, vying for attention, they're all vying for the eyeballs on this stuff, then you've got to be prepared to make a fool of yourself. I'm pretty sure it was Gwen Stefani that said, it's not until you're willing to make a fool of yourself 100 or more times that you start to work out the way that you're supposed to be, or the right way, or whatever however that quote finished up. So, commit in these next 90 days to doing a Facebook Live every day. Maybe that's the key there. Maybe it is just getting on, turning your camera on. I've got not a scratch of makeup on. I'm really funny. Came home from skating. I'm like, roller derby, the padding and everything is sweaty and it smells and yada, 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 because it's, anyway, roller derby. Knee pads and elbow pads and, we're skating. So I really just need to have a shower. And I decided in the shower that I needed to do a body salt scrub. So from an energetic perspective, if we're looking after our teeth when we brush them every morning, if we're making sure that we have a shower every day, we've also got our energetic body that we should really be looking after as well. So I didn't feel like having a salt bath this morning, so I had a salt shower instead. So I was getting the salt and scrubbing down, and I was thinking about my friend who fell over at the skate park, and I was thinking about I fell over on the path. It was like I caught a stick, and it was like bang, and my left knee hit the ground first, and it really hurt, and I nearly got scratches and stuff up my hands. It's like, it's just like, get up, keep going. It's like, I don't give a shit who saw. It's like, you know what, the fact of the matter is that I'm out there, I'm doing it, and that's really all that matters, and it fills me with the utmost joy and fun and connection and whatever. And I just really it's, hashtag skating, it's the best thing in the world. And, I think that if we viewed getting out there, trying stuff and doing stuff and committing to really showing up for our people, showing up for our clients, showing up for our markets, showing up for your people that really need to hear you, then, the world kind of does this 180 really, really quickly. And what we avoid is what we need most, yeah. But lives, anxiety. Oh, look, I get it. I remember, it's really funny. So I've been video blogging for years, right? Since 2010, been video blogging, mostly weekly, depending on what goes on. So there's literally hundreds of videos up on my website and YouTube and whatever else. What was really interesting when Facebook Lives first started, I was freaking out. I'm like, man, at least with video blogs, even though I filmed them in one take for years, the thought of doing a Facebook Live where I couldn't edit it created massive levels of anxiety. So I started small. I started, what was I doing? I think I was doing a day in the life of at the end of the day at one point. And what that was is where I jumped on camera and I felt like a complete dick, right? I felt like an absolute idiot. Jumping on at the end of the day, and I'm not usually my best energetic self in the afternoon. I tend to try and push through and just get things done. So in the afternoons, it was a little bit like, okay, so, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock rolled around. I'm like, shit, I've got to do the summary for the day. I'd much rather be doing the blah, blah, blah thing, and it felt more like an obligation than something that, I was kind of excited by. So started off doing those, but I committed to doing just small, little, short, sharp things, and I think they only really went for a few minutes, kind of at the most. They're still on the page, actually. You can go back and have a good laugh at the awkwardness that was those. But then I think the thing that happens is it's the same with anything. As you practice more, as you try more, as you just commit to kind of playing full out and doing the stuff that needs to be done and leveraging the tools that we've got available to us. I think that's the other thing that we've really got to be mindful of, is that everyone else in your industry probably feels the same way, right? And you've got this opportunity right now where for free you can put your stuff out there, you can put yourself out there, you can share your message, your words, your thoughts, your ramblings, your structure, your content, your training, whatever. You can deliver that in such a way that you can connect with your people, which is really freaking cool, right? I think it is. But too often we get caught up in the, oh well, you know, what if my, you know, my thing is like, what if my hair's not sitting right? What if I don't feel like going and putting a whole face of makeup on today, or you know, whatever it might be, which I normally love doing. But I was just like, today it's like, I feel like I just need to say this. I love, like Kate says, I love lives now, especially if people don't show up. My biggest fear was, what if no one turned up, right? Here's the thing that happens with that. If you can get to the point where it's like, right, well, I'm just going to show up and I'm going to do it, and the right people who need to hear it are going to turn up, then that's awesome, you know, that, and that's, I know that Kate, you and I have worked on that mindset. And I think one of the really cool things that Kate's experienced, like Kate's a private client of mine, and one of the things that we were talking about over the last couple of weeks has been the fact that she committed to showing up. She committed to doing her lives. I think it's every Tuesday morning at like 9:30. If you've ever lost anyone in your world through death, then you've got to follow Kate and take a look at what it is that she talks about. It's really, really important work. And we were talking about the feedback that she's had come back from people. So she's had a friend of hers give her some feedback on her lives, that she's too rambly, that she's too this, that she's too that, and that she's got an unfortunate face for camera, which I wanted to slap this so-called friend, by the way. Hope you're not watching, so-called friend, because that would be a bit awkward. But the thing that we then talked about was that following on from that, we've had other people who have been watching who not necessarily have been clicking like or commenting on her star, said, and I think it was a friend, the daughter of a friend or the mother of a friend of yours, Kate, and she said, oh look, you know, I passed on this video, I shared your video with my friend's mum who was blah blah blah, had just gone through death, and it saved her life. You know, we don't know how far the ripple goes, and really your job is to show up. Your job is to get out there. Your job is to do the thing that you're here to do and reach the people that you need to be able to reach. And you can only do that by really, truly committing to yourself that you're going to be visible, that you're going to get out there no matter what the feedback, because those who love you will follow you to the ends of the earth, and those that don't, you know, freaking whatever. They're not your people. They're never going to buy from you. They're never going to follow you. They're going to see your lives and, you know, block and delete. Or they'll be the ones that heckle you when you see them for dinner or coffee. But I can almost guarantee you that 3 or 4 months down the track, when they catch up with you again, they will be burning up to ask you, you know, so, you know, what are you up to? How's it all going? Yeah, you know, I've seen your stuff pop up in my feed, but, you know, I'm just curious to know how it's going. Like, they will be the ones with this burning desire to know exactly what it is that's going on in your world, and you can just be like, yeah, it's great. Bang. Like, nothing more even needs to be said. So, I guess the moral of the story today is that you're going to fail at stuff. Things aren't always going to work out the way that you want. Things aren't always going to look the way that you think that they should look. You're going to fall over, you're going to skin your knees, you might hurt yourself, you might break a wrist or a leg or whatever, but you know what? If you're in the game, if you're showing up, if you're completely committed, then the people who need to hear you will hear you. And it's all about you just becoming more visible, you doing the stuff that you need to do so that you can do the work that you are burning to do, really, in this world. Tamara, Kate's lives are rich, incredible value. Absolutely, incredibly valuable. Yeah, absolutely. Kate, it was awesome hearing that from her. Yeah, you never know. You just never know who's watching. You don't ever know what's going on or what's going on in people's heads and how you are creating impact in the way that you're doing that. Awesome. Yeah, Tamara, I know, right? Of all of the things for people to say, of all of the people to say something like that too, you know, Kate, who's, you know, ridiculously generous, sometimes to a fault, with her knowledge and her wisdom, it's just really, really, really fascinating. All right, so I am going to set you guys free about your day. Happy Saturday, and I'll be back definitely on Monday, maybe tomorrow, depending on what comes up. So make the decision around how beaten up are you willing to get? You know, that's a bit gruesome and gory, but what are you willing to do? How much are you willing to fail in order to get to where it is that you want to be? And, you know, if you look at me, I've been doing this for 9 years, coming up 9 years. If you look at anybody else who is still in this industry, they don't just try something and then go, oh shit, that didn't work, and then go, oh, you know, screw it, I'm going to go back to my day job. Or, you know what, that didn't work, I'm a useless piece of shit, I'm not going to do it anymore because, you know, what are all the people going to think? Anybody who has been around for any length of time will guarantee you that they have screwed up, they've failed, they've fucked up, they've made wrong decisions, they've made wrong choices, they've made errors in judgment, they haven't followed their gut, they have chased an easy way and then, you know, been battered around the head. Essentially, anyone who has got any level of success will tell you that they have lost a bunch of times, but they just keep getting back up, and therefore they win more than what they lose. I think the quote that comes to mind is like, you fall down 7 times, but you've got to get up 8. So how many times are you willing to get back up? And how much pain do you really need to be in before you're willing to do something different? Before you're willing to back yourself, before you're willing to ask for help, before you're willing to do something different and accept the hand that is outstretched to saying, hey, you know what, if you need some help, let's freaking do this. So that's pretty much that for today. I'll be letting you guys know I've got some stuff on the boil that's been really exciting to kind of think about and plot and plan. I'll let you know on next week, which is, you know, really all geared around this, you building confidence, knowing how to get your stuff out there, knowing how to be visible, how to reach your audience, and really fucking own 2019. And I know that no one, I was talking about this yesterday in the live, no one is here to be mediocre. No one is here to be average. No one is here to have an okay business. No one is here to just scrape by. You are all here to do freaking awesome work, and you all deserve to have fucking amazing businesses, have freaking amazing income, have freaking amazing health, and do it all in a way that feels really great for you. Yep. Excellent. Great, Kate. Yes. Say failing is where the creating happens. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like, it's almost like a rite of passage, I think. You know, I really do think that there is that. And remember, with everything, the breakdown always precedes the breakthrough. I would just really, my wish for you is that you don't have to have a really fucking massive breakdown in order for you to be able to, you know, really be able to leverage it and use it and get on the horse and make shit happen. All right, guys, have a really great Saturday. I can't wait to talk with you really soon. I'll let you know about the stuff that's on the boil. It's going to be amazing, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.